John Solomon broke some news yesterday on justthenews.com, which if you don't check that every day, you should. He is a real God's honest journalist, an investigative journalist. He's worked for the Washington Post until he wasn't welcome there. He worked for the, I think he worked for the New York Times, but definitely the Wall Street Journal until he wasn't welcome there. And he was like, you know what? I'm just going to I speak my mind. I let the chips fall where they may. And so he started his own thing, and it's really, really good. But he has been breaking a lot of the stories that are coming about Russiagate. Listen to this story. A career intelligence officer who worked for the Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee for more than a decade repeatedly warned the FBI beginning in 2017 that then Representative Adam Schiff had approved leaking classified information to smear Donald Trump. The FBI 302 interview reports obtained by Just the News state the intelligence staffer, a Democrat by party affiliation, who described himself as a friend to both Schiff and now California Senator and former Republican House Intelligence Chairman Devin Nunes, considered the classified leaking to be unethical, illegal, and treasonous, but was told not to worry about it because Schiff believed he would be spared prosecution under the Constitution's speech and debate clause. So do you know what that clause is? It's an amazing clause. You know what it is?
This is the one where they can, where Harry Reid could go on and say, hey, Mitt Romney lied about not paying his taxes.
Yeah, he never paid his taxes. Mm-hmm. He can't say that without Mitt Romney being able to sue him.
Right.
If it's not true, you can sue him unless you say it on the floor of the House or the Senate. Mm-hmm. Because then it's free speech that they have that you don't even have.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like they're extra free.
Yeah, they're extra free. They can say whatever they want and they can't get sued by it. So he's leaking this information, but he's leaking it on the floor of the House. And that way he can say, I'm covered by the Constitution. Now,
he is such a dirtbag.
He's a dirtbag. Just a dirtbag. Okay, so this whistleblower, again, a Democrat by registration, he has been blowing the whistle on Adam Schiff, and no one would listen to him. DOJ officials, according to Just the News, showed little interest in pursuing Schiff when the allegations were brought to them years ago, citing the very same excuse the lawmaker had offered. Isn't that interesting? So he says, I'm covered by this, and the DOJ says, no, he's covered by this. In his most recent interview with the Bureau in 2023, the whistleblower, whose name is redacted, told agents from the FBI's St. Louis office that he personally attended a meeting at which Schiff authorized leaking classified information. Quote, when working in this capacity, redacted staffer's name, was called to an all-staff meeting by Schiff. In this meeting, Schiff stated the group would leak classified information which was derogatory to the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Schiff stated the information would be used to indict President Trump. The whistleblower told investigations that he stated this would be illegal. And upon hearing his concerns, unnamed members of the meeting reassured him they would not be caught leaking classified information. The staffer made similar claims to agents in the FBI's Washington field office as early as 2017, shortly after Trump took office in his first term. Officials also said some of the DOJ officials who declined to prosecute a rash of classified leaks during the Russiagate affair remain employed and in positions of power, a matter that may be of interest to lawmakers in Congress. This thing is so deep and so nasty. I mean, if we don't get the people like Adam Schiff, this will happen. If they get away with it, you may, as a Democrat, you may be fine. Donald Trump, you cannot allow them to get away with leaking classified information to destroy another person. Okay? They knew these were lies, but they needed it to get out, and it was classified. No one was supposed to know that. So here, a congressman and now a senator, a U.S. senator, said, don't worry about it. You're not going to get caught. Nobody's going to pay for this. If they do that and they set this precedent and they do get away with it, what is the regulating rule of law when they want to do it to somebody else? And maybe it's somebody you like. What is the regulating rule of law when the Republicans go, oh, well, you're going to play that way. Well, we can do that too. This is where critical thinking comes in. This is what Americans are missing right now. And it's not that we're not capable of it. It's that we're all living in our lizard brains. We're all so freaked out by Nazi, it's a Nazi. We're so freaked out by the names that we've all called each other. We no longer can stop and think. The left is now moving towards no rule of law. I mean, Beto is now saying to the uber left, rules don't matter at all. It doesn't matter. We'll do whatever it takes to stop them and win next time. Well, to me, that doesn't sound like they're going to do anything new, except that's their message to people. That's not good. Unethical, illegal, and treasonous. From somebody who describes Adam Schiff as a friend. And nobody seemed to care. The stakes just keep getting higher and higher and higher on this particular story. And I'm wondering, one thing that is not trending, let me see if I can find the trends here. Okay, on Google Trends, right now what's trending on Google Trends is martial law. Martial law in Washington, D.C. Well, that's not what's happening in Washington, D.C. That's not martial law. It is the president's right, because the District of Columbia is supposed to be a federal district, and it's out of control. What was the stats on 1,000 times? What was it?
I have that here for you. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up.
Some crazy amount, more dangerous than Philadelphia. I don't go walk the streets of Philadelphia at night. I don't send my kids, hey, go get a gallon of milk down the street. What are the stats? Do you have it?
I do. It's just loading as we speak. Okay. This is from the Atlantic. DC's homicide rate in 2024, roughly 26.4 homicides for every 100,000 residents, is lower than both at 2023 and its peak in the 90s. But according to data compiled by the Council of Criminal Justice, is still nearly 7 times higher than New York City's rate, which is 3.8 per 100,000. DC's rate is also worse than that of Philadelphia, Atlanta, and even Chicago. In fact, it's closer to that of infamously crime-ridden cities like Memphis and Detroit than it is to some other important city areas. The problem looks even worse in the most violence-plagued parts of the city. As I found in my report, 2023, 57% of the city's homicides took place in wards 7 and 8, the city's poorest, and the largest percentage of black residents. In fact, just 10 blocks of D.C. were home to 14% of all homicides. Can you imagine what that area must be? 14% of an entire city's homicides. Everybody
knows somebody that has been killed. Right?
In that area, it has to be.
Has to be.
As in many cities, violence is also hyper-concentrated among tight social networks. According to a 2021 report, National Institute for Criminal Justice Reform, any given city, about 500 people are responsible for 60 to 70% of all gun violence in the city. And this is from an article that's saying, it's the Atlantic, it's more of a left-leaning situation, saying, hey guys, sure, we can all say it's down, but are we communicating the real problem here? Because, look, from a political perspective, Trump is going to win here. Mm-hmm. Forget that, for example, all the sideline stuff that everyone's talking about. When you just boil it down to politics, which is what a lot of these people are thinking about, if you are stuck on the side of the debate that says actually DC is Disneyland, you're going to lose.
And you're going to lose in a city that has voted for you time and time and time again because somebody's making the killing stop. I mean, what did they say about Mussolini? Why was Mussolini?
I remember, was it your uncle?
Let's be very careful. My wife's uncle.
Okay,
or great uncle, I think. He was born here in America, but the family, they lived in Italy. And when Mussolini took over and the war started, they were afraid the entire family would be wiped out. So he was an American citizen because he was born during a vacation in New York City. So they sent him all by himself to America. He didn't have a job or anything, so he just joined the military and he started fighting on our side. And we were talking, and nobody in the family nobody knew his war record. No one. And we're sitting at a wedding, and it's just the two of us. And I'm like, so Uncle Leo, how'd you get here? Tell me your story. And he was like, let me tell you my story. And he starts in telling a story, and I said, so do you remember Mussolini at the time? Mussolini was a good man. And I'm like, okay, can you keep your voice down on that one? I mean, he's not my uncle. He is not my uncle.
My wife's uncle.
That's my wife's uncle, which I'm questioning now. My wife and my relationship there said that. Anyway, and I said, okay, keep your voice down. What do you mean by that? And he said, at first, before he joined with the Nazis, he said our country was so out of control, and he made, quote, you've heard this before, he made the trains run on time. What he was saying was he brought order to a very disordered society. It was not functioning, okay? And what Mussolini did at first was, I'm just going to bring some law and order here.
And this is why the progressive left had an argument with some at the very beginning saying this is the new wave of the future. It will make your country better, fascism.
Yeah, well,
this was their argument at the beginning.
Mussolini and Hitler. Do you know why, the swastika, if you flip it around, it's actually an American native and a Indian symbol of peace. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. I did know that. Yes.
So if you flip it around, then it becomes the Nazi swastika. But that's not all. When you look at a Native American, you will always know that it's Native American or Indian because the bottom of the, I don't know what you call it, the swastika, is flat. Okay.
Okay.
What Hitler did is he pitched it up 45 degrees. Okay, so he moved that symbol that was just like a square, and he put it instead on a corner of the square. So it's now pitched up. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Do you know why he did that?
No.
Because this is a system of progress. We are progressives. We are moving and racing towards the future. Mm. So any of this crap that this was, conservative, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. This is all progressive socialist nonsense and dangerous. But back to the story of what Trump is doing. Trump is using the Constitution, and he is doing it within the rule of law. He has 30 days, and then Congress has to either revoke home rule or it goes back, or they can extend it for another 30 days. But Congress has to do it. So he's not becoming a fascist or a dictator or anything else. This is not martial law. This is all within the law. But if he makes that change in those two districts where everybody knows somebody who has been murdered, and most likely kids that have been murdered, and that goes down and they feel safe on their streets, and their kids they're not saying to the kids, just don't fall in with that gang. Mm. That will change. They may still vote the same way because they don't get it maybe, but they will not be on board with dismissing. I can guarantee you they're not on board with dismissing this as, oh no, Washington, D.C. is a safe city. Everything the media is doing right now, everything the Democrats are doing by trying to excuse this and try to make everybody, the people who are living it, know it's a lie first. And they've got to be looking at those people going, wait a minute. I thought you were on our side. I thought you were trying to protect us. You're not.